Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and I hope you guys are doing fine. Today let's learn something new. Let's learn how do we create a ReadWise alternative application for our personal use just by using Google Sheets, right? So first of all, what is a ReadWise application? So ReadWise is a web application that helps you collect all your highlights across sources such as Kindle, web, article highlights, etc. and then sends you an email that helps you recall and revisit those highlights, basically helps you remember what you read. Okay, so this is how it works. It's already mentioned on the site. So it helps you import highlights from across sources, review the best parts through a daily email, and remember what you've read. Okay, so the email that I'm going to show is basically this is how it comes from ReadWise. So ReadWise, it sends you like across 10 or 20 article highlights or Kindle highlights in an email. So this is the title of the book, and this is the highlight that I've done in the book, right? So it will help you basically recall what you've read and help you remember, right? So this is something that we are going to do today, and this is the output that we are going to get. So our template will also have the text or the title of the book or article, and then the text of the highlight, correct? So as you may know that ReadWise is a priced app, so it's not free for use for lifetime. So it has two variants of its pricing model. And the solution that we are going to use is definitely will work for personal use and is going to be completely free. So the first thing that we would need to do is to import our highlights into some web application, correct? That will help us generate a CSV that we can import it again into our Google Sheets. So a very popular app again is a glasp.co, so which will help you import all your Kindle highlights or web highlights using this Kindle export function to your profile and select Kindle export. So you will also need to download this web highlighter extension, browser extension. And then how it would work is that once you download it, it will link or integrate your Kindle account, and then you can select the books that you want the highlights to be imported from, and then select your Kindle ebooks and then export all in one click. So you have an option to export it to GLASP, or you have an option to export it directly to CSV. So now I have already imported some of my Kindle highlights into this GLASP app, and then what I'm going to do is export it as a CSV file, right? So after I download it, so this is these are all my Kindle highlights. The one of only two basically important columns that we would need here is the title one and the highlight text, as you can see in the ReadWise email. All right, so once you have your highlights, just create a new Google Sheet document and then copy and paste those highlights, basically the two main columns, which is the title of the book and the text, highlighted text. Okay, then what we need to do is click on this extension, go to App Script. So what is Google App Script? App Script is basically a scripting language to extend your Google Sheets functionality or any Google services. So we just need to write a small script that will help us collect data, random data from our sheet, Google Sheet, and then send us an email. Okay, so once we click on this App Script, right? So this is a function that I've created. You can write it as send book highlights. I've written as just send random values. Okay. The first line is to get the active sheet, which is, since this is our active sheet, so it will get the data from that sheet, get the data, get all the values in that sheet. The receiver email address, it could be your email address as well, since you are receiving it daily from your account only. So this would be your email address. And the subject, basically what subject that you need to write of the email that you want to get. So this is the subject and the message. So since we are writing an HTML template of the email, we want a certain format to match like a ReadWise template. So we'll create an HTML email message. So this is going to be the start of our email message. We are maintaining a variable used rows just to check the values don't get repeated. You know, we need to avoid duplicacy in the rows. Okay. So we are maintaining a variable used rows. We need 10 random values. So we'll iterate 10 times and get 10 random rows. We need to check that if the row that we got is already not in the used row variable. So once we are pushing it in the used rows, then we are also checking that every time the loop runs that we are skipping the duplicates. And if the duplicate is found, then again we are getting some another row. Okay. And then we will finally generate a HTML template. So this script I'll also post it as a link in the description of this video for your help. And so this is the message. The first is basically what we want. Okay, the first row. and the 0th index row. So first index row is basically the title of the book. So that is what we are going to get here. And the text highlight is what we're going to get as the 0th index of the row. Okay. And then finally, we trigger the send email function. So you can try it out. So so this is our email address. So if I hit send, so this says execution started, execution complete, and now it has just sent me an email, right, of 10 random highlights from our Google Sheet, right? So now we know that our function is working and it will send us the highlights that from our Google Sheet. The second thing that we need to do is trigger it on a time-based event. So since ReadWise sends us maybe daily email, so we can also send ourselves a daily email of our highlights. So for that, we need to set trigger to our script. So click on this clock icon, triggers, right? I already have a trigger set. So you can go to this add trigger button, bottom right, and then which function I need to run, right? And the second thing I need to select is a time-driven event. Maybe if you want to send the email daily to yourself, so just select day timer and the time slot that you want it to come to. So for example, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., whatever it is. So if there is any failure, it will also notify you, and select and click on save. So you will have your highlights every day received in your inbox. So that's about it, guys. I think it was pretty simple and it was useful for you that you've learned something new. And so this function can be extended, I believe, to other use cases as well. For example, if you're studying and you want to note down something, you can just create a Google form with two fields. One field for the title of the content, maybe the title of the chapter, and the second field would be to have that highlight or the text that you want to remember. So this Google Sheet will keep on getting populated, and then this function you can use to recall your highlights from that book or that chapter, since it's going to send you 10 or 20 highlights or whatever number that you want to use daily. So this way you can use this function to recall almost everything, remember almost everything, and it's free of cost, so you don't need to pay. And this template also, you can customize it as per your as the look that you want in your email template. So this is a basic template I've used, but you can customize it to include more fonts, more values as well. If you want to note down something like tags that you want to link your text highlights to, for example, you're learning Java, so you want to link it to a Java tag. So you can have one more data column and have your tag as well, right? So that's about it. I hope you learned something new. And if you have, please don't forget to like, share my video, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.